Hey, good afternoon. This is Clay with Clay's AC and Auto Repair and Clay Motion here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. You can like us on Facebook under Clay's AC and Auto Repair. Today we're doing a timing belt on a 2003 PT Cruiser 2.4 non-turbo. We've already done the belt and all that stuff. You can kind of see how we got the clamps on there. What I wanted to talk about was what I call the hard bracket, which you get off, which is actually 15 millimeter bolts. You're just going to use a standard shallow ratchet and socket. It's going to be thin enough to get in the middle there. We're going to talk about some of the just tips and procedures of how to get this bracket out. So you're going to remove the power steering. You don't have to remove the power steering pump out of here, but you're going to remove the bracket that holds that power steering pump on. That's one of the biggest things. The other thing that you're going to take out is there's 18 millimeter nuts that hold the bracket that go along the outside edge of here on there. Remember, if this video is helpful, please like, share, comment, most of all subscribe. I always love the nice comments, and if I can do it here, you can do it there. So get her done. One of the other things that we did was obviously we removed all the motor mounts and stuff. I'm sure that's pretty self-explanatory that you remove them. They're very difficult to get out. If they are broken, I highly recommend you replace them right now while you've got the motor up. We had 2 bad motor mounts in this one. You do not need to remove the motor mount that is up against the fender well there. One of the things that you will want to do though is unplug your mass airflow sensor. I cracked the cover on the plug that goes into the ECM because I didn't do that. So just so you know, it's one of them things. You remove that, just remove the plug, not a big deal. You can remove that sensor if you'd like. It's pretty complicated, but it's really not. So we've got a jack underneath the car. Actually got a jack stand underneath there, so when we move the lift up and down, we can do that, but you can do that with a jack as well. Once you've got the harmonic balancer off, which takes a 3-prong puller to pull off, and you've gotten all your timing taken down to where you're at the point of trying to remove this bracket right here, it's kind of a serious pain in the butt. But you're going to move it. You're going to remove the 15 millimeter bolts that hold it in there, and you have to have the engine up high enough to actually get them bolts out. I highly recommend when you're going to reinstall it, you go ahead and you've got it in its place. Right now it's in its place. So what you're going to want to do is probably drop them bolts inside there so you don't have to fish them in, because you'll notice that when you get them out, you have to have the engine just set at just the right spot to be able to get that thing up. So I'm going to go ahead and try to show you how I removed this. And you're going to take the front of it and you're going to tilt it up like this, and then you're going to tilt it out and you're going to kind of come out. I'm not saying it's easy, because there's a wiring harness down there, a wiring loom that runs down the bottom of this thing that kind of gets in your way a little bit. Plus you have to have the engine, you know, at the right spot, you know, at the right angle without tearing up stuff. So hey Jeff, can you hold on to this here, and I'm going to try to pull out the mount real quick and see if I can pull it out, and then hopefully show you how to reinstall it as well. And of course, you know, it's not an exact science, but if you move these AC lines and you get that power steering pump out, it comes out. Now, and I knew making this video, I really didn't want to pull this bracket back out because it was a pain in the butt. But putting it back in can be just as much of a nightmare. So I'm going to go in with it like this, and I'm going to go through the center of the cams, I hope, and then I'm going to get it. It sits right here in this notch right here. So if you remember that it goes right inside there, this arm goes right inside there, you should be able to get it. And then Jeff's got the power steering pump a little bit pulled away. I'm going to try to wiggle it. Ow, that was my finger. I might have to get a lighter out and burn this car down because now I'm hurt, but it's okay. We'll get past it. So now we've got it into its spot, I believe. Once we get it past the power steering pump here and down there. Bada boom, bada bing, she's in its place. Jeff's gonna put all the bolts in there. Obviously, we're not trying to screw them down yet, but we're gonna put all the bolts in there. We're gonna keep it cocked sideways. So there we go. Hopefully this video was helpful. Please like, share, comment, most of all subscribe, and like me on Facebook under Clay's AC and Auto Repair. Remember, if anybody else can do it, you can do it too.